One of the first things you're going to see here in Chapter 8, which is, again, one of these kind of concept paloozas where there's kind of an amalgam, a grab bag of stuff. And I think that that's okay here because what we're really trying to do is bolt everything together that you are going to need to really make your mobile website designs, which we'll actually get to last here in the chapter. But what we'll do is we'll make your mobile web design even better. So with the fragment identifier and relative linking, and again, this is on page 248, what essentially you're doing is the following. If you think about a web page, what you've been doing is designing web pages that go from left to right, right? So when you have a Pacific Trails Resort page, when you go home, yurts, contact, reservations, you go from page to page to page to page. And as far as 2004 website design goes, that's fine. But if you think about modern web design, rather than go from page to page to page to page, don't you hate it when you get an article that you find out is 5 pages long, and at the end of a very short page you have to go to the next page over? That's one of my pet peeves. So now what we find is, because 85% of your unknown potential future clients are coming to you from mobile, they are coming to you from a device that is not designed to go from page to page to page to page. It is meant to scroll down through pages. What the fragment identifier and the relative linking allows you to do is say, hey, look, instead of yurts, reservations, and contact being on pages that go from left to right, what happens if yurts, reservations, and contacts got you from a place high up on your web page to a place a little lower, to a place a little lower, to a place a little lower? So essentially what happens is your ahref, your anchor reference, instead of being a hypertext reference to another page, it's simply a reference to something here inside of your page. So think about what you could do with a web page that, instead of moving linearly left to right, moved vertically up and down. And that's what page 248 and the relative linking in the fragment identifier allow you to do, is move closer to the menu item in, something like in Ars Technica, something like a PC World, something like even a yahoo.com, where when you tap on a long form story or whatever the case might be, you're taken, instead of to the next page, you're taken someplace lower down on the same page. If you think about it, when it comes to server load, that turns out to be a benefit in your favor, because the fewer times it is that a reader, so an unknown potential future client, has to go request a page, request a page, request a page, those are fewer interactions with the server has to manage. And like we covered way back with the sprite in chapter 5, as a server, what I would rather do is give you one larger request than rather serve 15 smaller requests, because in fact it is easier and faster for me to do that. So the fragment identifier here on 248 is a fantastic addition to your developer's toolkit.